What's the job?
Crimson Desert might be one of the most confusing games I've played in years. But somehow I can't stop playing it. Right now, if you haven't noticed, Crimson Desert is confusing a lot of people. And it seems like a mess of confusion right now online, with so many different opinions. With a lot of people not liking the game and saying it's a huge flop. I'm about 12 hours into the game, pretty early, and I wanted to give my early impressions, my early review of the game so far. Considering this could be a long journey, I wanted to give my thoughts now and then see how it goes at the end of the game in, what could be another 100 hours. Expectations for this game were insane. People were comparing it to Breath of the Wild, Dragon's Dogma, and even Witcher 3. And that's where things start to fall apart. But remember the saying, comparison is the thief of joy. The world is what hooked me immediately. At first, the game looks good. Really, really good. But the longer you play, the more I realized that it wasn't just for show. It wasn't just a backdrop. You can mine, trade, explore, upgrade items, craft, fight, mine, and chop down trees. Did I say mine twice? There's always something happening in this world. A lot of players felt the beginning of the game to be slow and boring. I saw that as a pretty common complaint about the game. And I think a hook is a very important thing for a game, especially early on. And that hook could be a lot of different things for people. It could be the combat, characters, the world, even minigames. Just about anything, really. The world is what has captured me instantly. The world is beautiful, and the beauty of a world isn't enough alone, for me anyways. But the more I walked around, the more it felt truly unique and real. Like I said, I'm only 12 hours in, but right out of the gate, it visually looks like a wallpaper. One of the best looking games I've ever seen. Walking through the first town is a pretty surreal experience. Of course, a lot of games look great, but what can you actually do in the world? So far, I've discovered mining, woodcutting, trade, gathering resources, combat, exploration, side quests. It has just about everything I could possibly want or think of. And the deeper I get into the game, the more I realize that this isn't an RPG either. It feels like kind of an open world action adventure sandbox. The closest comparison for me, honestly, is Red Dead Redemption 2 in terms of the world. You can tell that so much of the world feels inspired by Red Dead 2 in a good way. The markers on the minimap, the random NPC encounters, getting pickpocketed in town, and even bounties have some similarities. It feels like almost a fantasy Red Dead Redemption 2, which is awesome. If I haven't made it clear already, I'm loving the game so far. But there are definitely issues. If you haven't already heard, the key bindings and controls are messy. There's no way around that. But it doesn't break the game, in my opinion. It just needs to be fixed and patched. The story hasn't really grabbed me so far, and I was kind of expecting that before the release. The characters seem to not have much depth to them, and the main story so far doesn't seem super compelling. That being said, the voice acting and writing does seem decent. I thought about this recently since this game is released, and I've heard so many different opinions. And it seems like this idea really applies to Crimson Desert. you kind of have to take this game for what it is and not what you want it to be. Fortunately for me, I was looking for a beautiful open world with lots of exploration and tons of things to do. But if you're a player that's looking for Witcher 3 story depth or Elden Ring combat, you're probably not going to be happy with the game. Which brings us to the combat of the game, which honestly surprised me. I'm genuinely enjoying the combat so far. It seems less about attack patterns and remembering combinations and kind of more memorizing attacks that are already preset and parrying. And you can tell even with the combat, all the moves, there's a little bit of a latency delay, but if every move has that latency delay, it kind of just becomes part of the game. The bandits around seem to be pretty weak, where you can take down dozens of them in a single fight. But the few bosses I've fought so far have actually been pretty challenging. I'm still figuring it all out, but there's definitely something here. Lastly, I can say on PC the game is running well and looks unbelievable, but I'm on max settings as well. But I've heard some consoles are kind of struggling to run it, and I'm not sure if those problems also persist on lower end PCs. So now the toughest question to answer. Should you buy Crimson Desert right now? My 60-second pitch is, if you're looking for a beautiful open world where there's a ton of rewarding exploration, weird but unique combat, and tons of side content, then you'll probably enjoy this game. But if you want RPG mechanics or an immersive story or some combination of those two things, you're probably not going to enjoy this game very much. At this point, I'm really liking the game, but there's still a lot of game left, so I hope it continues to impress me.
You there? You look like you've got some coin. You gonna help me out or not?
How the hell are you?